Hi! Ako si Dr. Anna Tuazon, isang psychologist at professor at kukwentuhan nyo sa Share Ko Lang. Today, makakausap natin ang isang Pinay manager sa Korea na nag-artista na sa mga sikat na K-dramas, si Noreen Joyce.
안녕하세요. 저는 필리핀에서 온 조이스라고 합니다. 네, 감사합니다.
Year 2015 nang lumipat si Joy sa South Korea. Mula noon, naging bahagi na siya ng halos 85 na K-dramas. Kabilang dyan ang Hospital Playlist, Itaewon Class, True Beauty, and Extraordinary You. Recently, nag-viral si Joyce dahil sa kanyang background role as one of the high school students sa zombie apocalypse horror series na All of Us Are Dead sa Netflix.
Like there was this scene, right? Like sabi nga nag-viral ka dun sa All of Us Are Dead. Diba? Because of the way you wore the backpack. It was the thing. Like Filipinos loved it. Now, yun na nga, what are the things you realize? Ay, Pinoy pala yun. Diba sometimes we don't know what's Pinoy or what's us. We think it's just normal or, you know, standard. And then suddenly, I'm doing something Pinoy pala.
For the All of Us Are Dead, actually, it was unintentional. Na nalagay ko yung bag ko sa harap. Kasi, yun nga, sabi ko nga sa mga interviews, we shot that like very summer, 35 degrees Celsius. Ano siya, I mean, takbuhan yung scene na yun. So, we shot that like 20 times. So, meaning, basang-basa na kami and ng pawis.
So that face you had was real? Talaga?
Yeah. Super init siya and we were wearing winter uniform. So, I put my bag in front kasi nga super basa na yung likod ko. And yeah, yung facial expression ko, very, very real.
In a way, diba, sabi mo, in times of stress, pag frustrated na, pagod na, lalabas yung totoo.
Lalabas, oo.
And it was unintentional. Did you expect it to get that warm reaction from Filipinos?
No, actually no. I've never expected anything.
You're definitely a celebrity over here sa Pilipinas kasi you're living the Sana All life. Diba? I'm sure maraming nagtatanong sa'yo how to do what you do.
I've been actually in the Philippines like just a few days ago. So I just arrived here. And yun nga, medyo maraming taong yung nakakilala sa akin. Maraming nagpa-picture. So ayun, very thankful sa lahat.
Was that surprising when you got that reception? People recognized you. Kamusta naman yon?
Actually, na-stress ako noong una. Kasi hindi ko na-expect yung mga reaction. So, hindi ko alam kung paano mag-react sa mga tao. Hindi ko alam kung paano i-accept yung reaction nila to me.
So, medyo overwhelming.
Yes.
Well, you know, it's interesting kasi you're showing us yung sana all nila, di ba? Siyempre, sana all, maka-acting sa K-dramas, you know, ma-meet yung mga celebrities and actors. Para sa akin, actually, ang sana all about you is that you are able to really pursue something you enjoy and have a full-time job at the same time. Kasi some people, they think they have to give that up or they have to turn their passion or hobby, di ba? Yung sabi mo nga, into something more serious, something more pressure. And sometimes, yun na nga, di ba? If for you, enjoying it is what makes it special.
I am a manager in a financial company here in Korea. So, like, my daily life is more of, like, full of responsibility. Like, you are tasked to do things na kailangan responsible ka sa ganitong bagay. Kailangan i-handle mo yung mga teammates mo. Kailangan perfect. I mean, kailangan hindi pwedeng magkamali kasi if...
How is it different? Sabi mo nga, di ba? It's like an alter life. It's like an alternative life. Parang K-drama plot yata to, no? Pero, how is it different? Or your on-set life and then your day-to-day life?
Like, in the set, I mean, medyo lie-low siya. And you get to relax kasi kung ano yung sasabihin sa'yo, yun lang yung gagawin mo. Like, susundin mo lang yung sinasabi nila. Like, it's a very end-to-end gap between my personal life and set life.
Oddly enough, kasi, you know, when we think kasi of on-set work, di ba, actually maraming pressures, maraming ganyan, lots of waiting, I imagine. And yet, sabi mo nga, mas less constraining pa yon, less rules. Hindi ka masyadong as takot. Whereas in your day-to-day life, kailangan perfect. Para magkamali. Nakakapagod yun.
Kaya yung sa set na life, yun yung parang stress reliever ko, parang playground, kumbaga.
The thing is, from what I hear, tama ba? It's not like you went naman sa South Korea with that intention.
Yes, I actually came here as a student, so I took up my master's in business administration here as a scholar. So, ayun, hindi ko in-expect na mapupunta ako sa ganitong field kahit na hindi naman siya full-time, kahit na part-time lang siya. So, ayun, hindi natin alam kung saan tayo pupunta, diba?
How did it start? No? Paano mo naisip while studying, was there an audition, a casting call, and what's your origin story?
Back in the Philippines, actually, I did events volunteer for Korean Cultural Center. So, we did Korean culture caravans and K-pop group meetings, mga ganong events. So, I met some people from the industry. And when I came to Korea, I actually reconnected with them. So, they introduced me to several part-time jobs related sa industry nga, like events coordination, backstage directing, mga awards night. From there, a producer or a director came over to me and suggested na we do on-cam gigs. So, ayun, tinry ko siya and it was fun. Doon nag-start yung pagiging background actress ko.
And then after that first experience, as kaba as it was, did you have the sense that I want to keep doing this?
Yes, for me it was very fun. Like my role nga is Korean, so I'm taking another like life, kumbaga, a different personality, a different identity sa set. So fun siya for me.
Napapansin ko, a lot of your roles is being a high school student and you're 30 years old, right? Yes. So, kamusta naman yon?
A high school role, yun yung pinakagusto kong part. Yung mga kasama mo sa set are really high school students. So, I mean, isa ako sa mga matatanda. And they don't know na yung age ko kasi. So, they speak informally to me. Kasi sa Korea, bawal na bawal kang mag-speak informally sa mga taong medyo matanda sa'yo. So, I mean, na-enjoy ko yung experience kasi they treat me as like the same as them.
Which further, di ba sabi mo nga, mas lalong you can feel na it's a different life.
Yes.
Di ba? Suddenly, you're a Gen Z.
True.
Diba? And you get to feel what it's like to be a high school student, having fun on set.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who wants to do what you do? It's a very Pinoy value na I'm keeping my full-time job and I want to provide for my family. Kasi di ba kung sa Western yan, no, quit, give up, di ba? Wait tables, mag-flexi job, look for bigger roles. You're doing about it for me, I think, in the most Filipino way. You know, in Filipino way, and yet, nga, without compromising actually necessarily your enjoyment.
Yes, I do agree with that because yun nga, I provide for my family din. So, hindi ko actually maiwan yung full-time job ko kasi hindi naman gaano kalaki yung kita kasi sa part-time job. And that's why, yun nga, hobby lang siya for me. Yeah, I think that's Filipino value.
There must be times na, wow, sobrang pagod trying to have it all, right? Trying to have that stable, safe job and going to, working in shoots. And I'm sure meron kang mga opportunities you had to turn down because it was on the weekday. Do you have a role or a drama that got away for you?
A lot, actually. I never had time to audition. Wala akong time to go to the shoot kasi nga, weekday. And you have to go there for a week, mga ganung bagay. So I had turned down a lot.
Was there a drama that you had at least a chance to audition, that you couldn't because, real life got in the way? And then parang, I wanted to be there.
Just recently, siguro, I was given a role na, as a Filipino na, actually. A Filipino na high school pa din. So the agency actually contacted me. They actually selected me na for the role. Yun nga lang, hindi ako pwede. Kasi weekday yung shoot. It's a
Yeah.
good role sana for me. Hindi na siya background.
I got the sense actually that that's what you were really looking for. You wanted to have a Filipino role or a foreigner role. What is the difference between playing a Korean character and playing someone who's Filipina?
Number one siguro yung camera angle. Kasi you will be film focused sa'yo. Unlike for background actors, like Korean actors na ano lang, sa background lang. Second, siguro yung identity. Kasi makikilala ka as a Filipino nga for the role. Third, siguro yung payment. Kasi iba.
So yes, definitely having a specifically Filipina character. One, actually just that on its own is a rare representation if there is one.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's hard.
Yes.
Have you ever been able to play a Filipina?
Oh, I've filmed a movie last year and it will be shown this year. So yes, my role will be a Filipina.
How was that?
Oh, it was surreal and it was not the typical Filipina role na usually kasi yung role dito is parang battered wife, mga ganun. Yung makita niyo sa K-drama, yun yung mga role
I see.
ng Filipinas dito. So it's a different portrayal of a Filipina. So I'm very excited to show that.
Wow. Definitely will be looking forward to it.
Opa!
You've described nga your acting, di ba? You keep insisting, I think. You keep insisting it's not your main career.
Yes.
It's a hobby.
Aha.
Di ba? Sabi nga nila, wow, ang ganda naman ng hobby. Again, sana all. May ganong hobby. And at the same time, when you're talking about, di ba, yun na nga, you get to live a different life on the weekend. How do you differentiate? Hobby, passion, career, source of income?
For me kasi hobby is like having fun. So if you are doing your hobby, parang walang expected sa'yo. Like you're just having fun. Like, yun nga, stress reliever. Kung maging passion mo siya or career, medyo expected ka na to do better. Or like, dapat may return sa'yo, like recognition, yun nga, may income dapat.
Kasi if you were to treat it as something more, sabi mo nga, now you, di ba, kung yun ang paghuhugutan mo ng panggastos, kung if you take on maybe bigger roles and bigger responsibilities, okay ba sa'yo if it becomes a little less fun for a role that's maybe a little bit more interesting?
I don't think so. I think I'm contented with the things that I'm doing now. I'm not looking for anything big. As long as I'm having fun. Yun nga. Fun kasi yung number one.
I mean, dare we say it's fun and it sounds like it's something that's very self-caring for you. Something that brings balance.
I have this perfectionist attitude, like personality. So, ayun ka, hindi ko lang gustong magkamali sa work ko talaga or sa career ko. So, maybe pressure ko sa sarili ko yun. Pero yung job ko mismo, very loose naman siya. And they are very supportive naman to me.
Actually, that's something I was wondering about. How do you manage a full-time job and then acting on the side? Diba? Even just I'm just curious. Diba? Naisip ko si Hermione with her hourglass. So I'm curious, how do you make it work?
I see to it na weekend ko lang siya ginagawa or a holiday. Or if ever, like, kung commercial shoots naman, kasi mostly weekday siya. So, I asked permission from my company and they allow me naman to either work from home or file a leave. So, ayun, very, like, it's teamwork kasi. For me, teamwork kasi siya for, like, my company and me. And yeah, I'm very thankful for that. I'm very lucky.
Dito sa Pilipinas, I think mas na-appreciate natin yung ginagawa mo di ba? Karang work hard, play hard. Hindi pwedeng work lang. And in other countries, depending on the culture, di ba? Sometimes it doesn't allow that balance. Do you think nakatulong sa'yo sa pag-a-adjust dyan sa South Korea, pag-a-adjust na, as someone who works and lives abroad, that you have found something really you're really passionate about?
Yeah, it's actually a way for me to cope with my society. So I get to interact with a lot of Koreans, and I get to learn the culture itself, like firsthand, by interacting with them. I actually learned Korean sa set. I mean, like, not all Filipinos in Korea are actually had this experience na mag-interact more sa mga Koreans talaga.
Aside from the language, what else did you learn? Either about the country or about adjusting on set?
I learned the culture sa production. Then second, I learned a lot about myself. Yung patience nga, yung pagiging adventurous, YOLO type. So go lang ng go. So yun yung mga realization ko naman sa self ko.
You know, a lot of people really actually, diba, some people wanna live in a K-drama world. Diba? If that's all you consume kasi, diba, they start thinking, oh, that's real, I like that world. You have an experience of both. What's the difference? What would you tell them na, okay, sa K-drama lang yan? What's real, what's not real?
Oh, walang upa sa real life. Like, when you hear people, they want to go to South Korea to see their oppas, like to find man of their dreams. I don't think that's possible in real life. And
Walang may payong na mag-aano sa'yo sa ulan.
Yeah. When you see sa K-drama, makikita ng mga tao sa street, yung mga favorite idols nila. So, sa K-drama lang yun. Actually, hindi mo sila makikita sa real life.
One of my favorite K-dramas of all time is Extraordinary You.
Oh.
And, you know, it's interesting kasi when you're telling me your story, di ba, there's an
Paano?
element, I know you were there.
Yeah.
Di ba there's an element of that story na actually, in a way, mas may freedom ang background actor, ang extra, than the leads. The leads have less freedom. Nakarelate ka ba doon as you were sort of reading and watching it?
Yes, very, very nakarelate ako dun sa story kasi.
So, if you were that character, yan, di ba? If Joyce, you realize, oh, di ba, parang the spotlight is on me as a background actor. Like, and in some ways, you're already doing that. I think. And if you could, di ba, put yourself in the shoes of that character, what would you like your story to be?
For me, siguro, I will remain as a background kasi mas may freedom nga siya kesa dun sa lead. So, ayun, I will live my life as a background na lang. Kasi I am free to do my thing.
Parang you already know what's so great, right? About where you are, and you know na you actually risk losing that.
Yeah.
In a way, you get paid to observe and experience this whole process, even if your time on screen isn't necessarily long. Irreplaceable, that experience.
Yeah, the experience.
Okay, those are all my questions for you, and thank you so much for being here and, you know, giving us time.
Samida!
Kung may gusto kayong pag-usapan, mag-iwan lang ng comment below or email us at sharekolang@gmanews.tv. We're also streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Thanks for tuning in!